Peace and love, everybody. Salute. Salute to my people, all the beautiful people. What's up, y'all? Okay, so I was thinking about Deontay Wilder, y'all. I'm thinking about the king, okay? He has a fight coming up this Saturday on Zhang against the hard-hitting Zhang, okay, in Saudi Arabia. And I'm excited about this fight. I've been looking around and just kind of pulling from the energies of what I've been seeing, what I haven't been seeing surrounding this fight. And it definitely brought up, some questions as far as this fight is concerned. Lots that I want to divulge here. Some interesting aspects lie within this bout, y'all. And certainly a lot of questions as to the bronze bomber particularly and what we are expecting to see from this king on Saturday. Okay, some interesting points to be made here. Now, the first for me is the observation that since the fight's initial announcement, right, there hasn't really been a storm around it, which is probably the first time that I've noticed, at least, in quite a bit of time, that we can say this about a Deontay Wilder fight, you guys, right? Where it hasn't really been garnering and generating the hoopla, the fanfare, the buzzing interest that we know to surround this man's fights, okay? Wilder is pretty much, to me, the stuff of legend, you guys, myth. This is the type of personality that we are dealing with Wilder. Okay, he's become sort of, a mythical, at least over the years, a mythical character within the boxing world. Okay, and this is because he has proven time and time again that he is able to generate an excitement level that brings fans to his fights. Okay, he brings the excitement to his fights. He is, he's shown us time and time again that he is an absolute warrior. Okay, that he's got that dog, that lion heart, that spirit that we all know of him. Okay, that's what we know. We know this about Deontay Wilder. However, much of this particular low at the moment surrounding this fight has to do with what we saw lacking in Wilder and all of those characteristics and attributes that I just mentioned. Okay, the lull seems to be due to the lack of these particular factors that we are used to seeing in Deontay Wilder and in his last particular fight, which is very interesting. I know that, in the boxing world, people have many questions as to his standing, as to his condition, as to his mindset, right? As to his motivating force and factor, his ideas about boxing, a lot of questions surrounding that. And Wilder himself, after his fight against Joseph Parker back in December, stated some things that triggered people into this particular thinking. He stated some very curious things, some very questionable things. One being that he lost a sense for his killer instinct. Okay, and that basically he had found a level of peace within his personal life, and how that may have been a principal, issue, or if you want to call it an issue, but a principal aspect as far as his repose towards boxing, that may have been a contributing element as far as his repose towards boxing overall. And this, of course, was devastating for me because, I'm a huge fan and supporter of this man. You know what I'm saying? I only know the Wilder that is wild. You know what I'm saying? I only know the man who, swings with every bit of bad intention in his body. That's the Wilder that I know. No good intentions in this man when he's in that ring. Okay, I know the Wilder that seeks to punch through his opponent. Not just punch them, but punch through them. The man that literally leaves his mark on the men that stand before him. This is the fire that he introduced to the boxing world. And this is the fire that many people the world over respect, whether they like him or not. Okay? They know that that man does not come to play. They know that he shows up, and they know that he is there for war. Okay? He comes to demolish. That's the Wilder that we know. So that, there is certainly a level of, question and even confusion on the part of many boxing fans, because there seems to be a bit of a stalemate among the boxing community overall, that were listening into his sentiments that he shared, and the aspect of him possibly have lost the fire and possibly losing a bit of steam as far as his passion for boxing, which was definitely disheartening. Now, another interesting point for me also with this upcoming fight is that, of course, we know that both gentlemen, Wilder and Zhang, are coming off defeats. That's another interesting aspect at play here in this matchup. Zhang took his loss back in March, and Wilder, as aforementioned, also took a defeat back in December. And the losses received by these two men were by the same man, Joseph Parker, which brings me to another matter of interest, you guys. And that matter of interest for me is how these men basically received their losses, right? That's something that I'm really going to be looking into with this fight, okay? How they received their losses, or in other words, the condition that they were in, Zhang and Wilder, in their last fights against Parker, the fashion in which they lost, how they held up during the fight, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be a big part of the assessment as far as this matchup between these two men are concerned. Zhang's performance against Parker was considerably close. I'd even posit that it was borderline controversial for me. He managed to knock Parker down twice in that fight. Once in the third round, he knocked him down again in the eighth. He showed up with that aggressive punch output that he's known for. His placement, as usual, was precise. He was sharp. He did a fantastic job. The decision definitely could have gone, and genuinely could have gone, to Zhang in my observation. Why they gave it to Parker is the matter of controversy for me. But nonetheless, they did give Parker that win. Now, as far as Wilder's fight against Parker, we didn't see a Wilder that looked fresh, real talk. He essentially was dominated by Joseph Parker. His legs weren't there. He had no jab. He basically fought to survive for the entire duration of the fight. This to me is the predominant reason why the overall energy seems to be on the fence about Wilder right now. And I think that has to do with maybe a lot of the reasons why people haven't been speaking about it, because they are uncertain. They don't know what standing to place Wilder in at the moment. And, I understand those types of reservations that people have. However, I am not forgetful of who this man Wilder is. During an interview that he did, I think with DAZN some time ago, he elaborated upon those sentiments that he had about losing steam and losing flame at one point. But he did say that since that fight, he has ignited a new sense of focus, a new hunger, and that he felt quite excited about what he was going to be doing moving forward. There was a new sense of aspiration in him, and it kind of, you kind of see it in his face when he was speaking that, it is a recognizable flame. That's what I'll call it. It's a recognizable flame. Like, okay, well, maybe he does have it back. It definitely had me hopeful as a boxing fan that he did reestablish the passion for the game. I definitely hope that that's true, and I can't wait to see his mentality in that ring. Okay, I can't wait to see what adjustments he's made, how he'll use his feet, how he'll establish his generalship, and everything else. I can't wait to see. And I did, I did a commentary a while back, right around the time of his loss to Parker. And I got into my views, about his trainer, Malik Scott. And my views have not changed one bit, y'all. Honestly, if I'm going to keep it a stack. My views have not changed about Malik Scott at all. I'm not sold. Okay, I'm not convinced by that man at all. Okay, he's shown nothing. To me, he's shown nothing, and he's proven nothing since joining Wilder. Call it harsh, call it whatever the fuck you want. I just that's where I'm coming from with Malik Scott. I'm not feeling him. I don't really lay too much towards his skill. I don't really vouch for his skill as a trainer, as a coach. I just don't. I'm not there with Malik. I'd love to see Wilder with someone of stature, somebody of war strategy. Malik is not that to me. Okay, Wilder needs a general by his side, somebody who's going to lead him into victory. Malik, to me, is unfit as a head coach. It just is what it is. The success rate since he's been on the team has been lackluster, and that's me being very nice with the term. I respect Wilder, so I can only follow his lead and hope that whatever that they've been working on for the duration, since the last fight, I could only hope that will be successful once they enter the ring on Saturday and moving forward into whatever else lies for them in the future. I want them to be successful. Wilder deserves a legacy that solidifies him among the giants who did it before him. Okay, he is unique. He is full of heart. He is one of the most soulful men on the planet to me. He's just abundant and rich. And, I rocks with the king deeply and heavily. I really do. And I don't think that he gets all the accolades that are due to him. And that's for many reasons, which I can get into at another time. But in the meantime, Zhang is very skilled, very tough opponent. And he's a challenge for any heavyweight, in my opinion. He'll do the business with anybody that steps in front of him in the ring. And I think that's possibly what Wilder needs at this moment. I know that it may be a little bit controversial because of the way and the fashion in which Wilder performed in his last fight against Parker. But I think having a tough challenge like Zhang is really necessary at this time because it will answer a lot of questions for Wilder and for us fans who support him. It'll question if he indeed does still have that fire, if that lion heart is still activated within him. If it's something that he can pull out of his bag. Is he going to put his stamp on it? When he shows up to that ring and is faced with the challenges that Zhang is surely going to bring to him, because Zhang is not coming there to lay down. He doesn't lay down for nobody. He never does. Okay, he is coming for war. He wants the war with you. Is Wilder going to be able to show up? And I think that this is, even though it's a tall task, even though it's quite the jagged pill to swallow, I think it's necessary in calling out and activating that fire warrior within Wilder, because that'll show us if he's indeed prepared to go forward, within the boxing game. That's what I think. And sometimes you really just have to somebody has to be thrown in the water, so to speak, in order to, see how they'll adapt. Will you sink or will you motherfucking swim? And I think that's the case with Wilder right now, real talk. I think this is going to be, a real test and a necessary test. The point of being challenged and the point of being tested is not to have it easy and paint your nails. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to see your heart and to see your standing. And I can't wait to see how Wilder will rise to the occasion, because if he indeed gets through this man, Zhang, I think that him stepping forward into any other challenges thereafter will give him the boost of confidence and the vigor that we need. If that doesn't ignite that vigor and that confidence, I don't know what will. So I can't wait to see the king back in the ring. And we'll see on Saturday how everything unfolds. That's it for me, y'all. I'm on to the next. Bomb Squad. Peace.